Okay, welcome. It is this is going to be a good one, y'all. We are it's late, and I know before when we've done it late, it can tend to go either way. Sometimes it's been a few people in, sometimes it's been a couple, and then the next day, you guys, when you wake up or throughout your day, the next day, it's been the play blacks have been plentiful. So either way it goes, whenever you're catching this, thank you so much for just coming and being a part of this discussion. It was something I really felt led to do, and I want to say, yeah, because I think now this is not our first show of 2025, but it's our first show after our first show of 2025. So it might be welcome back, and maybe welcome for the first time or some 2025 visitors to the channel. But without further ado, because we're gonna get into it, because like I said, it is a little later than what our usual show is. So we're not gonna go too long. But I am Courtney Omega Doss.
And I am Devon Dawes, also known as Husband.
Husband, yeah, and also known now as Optimus.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and you got on the colors too. Hey, Naima, welcome. We can always count on you.
Peace.
So thank you again for joining us in for this chat. This is so on time, and like I said, I just really felt like the Holy Spirit dropped this on me, dropped this on my heart for a couple of reasons, and I'll get into that as we get going. But first and foremost, we want to send condolences and just empathy to those facing these extreme weather conditions, right? I said I knew the show could not go without us addressing this, right? Fire and ice. They say the country is literally divided and literally coming up on y'all. Let me tell you, God does nothing by way of mistake. You understand? There is no coincidence. But on Monday, because here, we're getting prepared to being serving at the MLK Day parade, and we're heading into a week of events leading up to and including Martin Luther King's birthday and Devon's mom's birthday. Happy early birthday, Mom. She expected us to be on the way to New York by now, y'all. But and it's cold. And New York has been on the news lately for it being unusually cold because a lot of the buildings do not have heat. A lot of the buildings are New York is New Yorking right now. It is cold. The hawk is out, and yeah, there are some. They are proven their what they say. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. They're proving that right now. So hearts and prayers go out and up to those affected. LA, but California, West Coast. Like they said, West Coast on fire, and the East Coast and the Midwest on ice, on chill. And there's another big storm front supposed to move in the top of the week. So we're, again, on the 20th is approaching Martin Luther King's birthday, right? And the 20th is also going to be the inaugural event that y'all know people have been waiting for, which is Donald J. Trump being sworn back into office as being deemed the comeback president for the second time in a decade. He will have a second term at presidency. It's phenomenal. But they said that it is showing a real divide.
So would this be considered his second term, or does that start over?
It starts over. No, but you can only
he can get 8. He can get reelected then.
I believe. Okay, so they are having to go and revisit what the rules were with that, because when the rules were first made with that, they were consecutive that people ran. So it wasn't a come back and run again. So I think that there is some revisiting. And I think that it also goes without saying, this is not coincidental that probably during the election and campaigning, there was a book called The Last President. And the person in the book was none other than Barron Trump. And as y'all know, Donald Trump's son is named Barron. And this book was written years and years ago. I did a couple of journal entries about it. It was nothing that I felt like I was able to speak on with any type of real confidence. But I did follow the woman who started the. She started posting about it on TikTok, and I followed them, and I journaled my thoughts in regards to that. But I'm not opposed to prophecy, y'all, because in case y'all didn't know, we win. Chosen ones win. Chosen ones are avenged. They are vindicated. They come back to Christ. They're on the winning side. So I'm not fearful of no prophecy. Like I said, I don't have to worry about people say, well, he's gonna cut this and cut that and cut this. Baby, God ain't gonna cut nothing. This says I have never seen the righteous forsaken, nor what begging for bread. God's not gonna cut it. So it dropped down. I lost a couple of people with that. Sorry, y'all. But I'm not holding no punches when it comes to that. That's what I'm on, and I'm gonna stand on it. So again, if this is your first time in 2025 checking on into the show, hello. If it is you're coming back, definitely welcome back. And if you are here and you are ready to have this conversation, please, please, please do not be silent. Do not be silent. Do not be in the, hiding out in the halls with this. We want real interaction, engagement, just thinking about this and really addressing it, because I think it's long overdue that a case like this has sparked this type of debate amongst community folk. Because when the R. Kelly and the P. Diddy situation happened, it's easy to say, oh, that's them. That's what they do. That's how all these, big da-da-da-da. But it's harder to address when it's in your own home, when it's in your own community, when it's people that you are friends with and you're excusing their behavior because they're cool to you. Y'all, if y'all thought 2024 was going to be the year of exposure, you ain't seen nothing yet. So that's my intro, babe. Any shout outs or anything you want to pay attention to or give some energy to?
First thing I'm gonna do is explain the shirt.
Okay, and I'm loving it too. And the reds match, y'all. Yeah. And we ain't even playing it like that. Promise y'all we did.
So this is from Nations Church in Athens, Georgia. They actually have two campuses.
They do.
One on College Station Road and the other on Macon Highway.
Two campuses, but both still in Athens.
Both still in Athens. Yes. And Athens is literally like that big. But anyway, I have decided this is the shirt that I got baptized in. So
on the first Sunday of 2025.
Yes.
Literally. It was amazing.
Wasn't planned.
What do you do?
We were kind of like I guess I'd like milling about after services. I guess we just kind of like
we were still there because Pastor Mike Holt, let me tell you something, and I haven't been able to like talk with him face to face a lot since this happened, but there was a move that was happening in that church. And Lance was on the keys. That worship team didn't leave that stage. No. And it was like I said, it was a move, and he opened up the altar. And again, he does both of the campuses. So
he does two services.
He does
Sunday.
2 services, yes.
He's a true prayer warrior.
So we started at the church that's closest to us. It's literally 4 minutes from us. So that's our church we were invited by KK, Ken Clean.
My boy.
and to come to the second location, which I think even at that point, he wasn't. By this time, I think that Ken, you just got to start saying, I'm going to the second campus. Because he always says, I don't plan to go. And then something always happens where he's like, hey, do y'all want to go?
That particular day, he was like, you know what?
He had decided early.
Because
he doesn't get an option to see it.
Because he's doing the boards.
Right.
So he doesn't get a chance to worship. So he said, you know what? Yeah, I'll get a chance to worship. And because it went so long.
We actually made it. But the thing of it was that when it was at our campus, it was still an open call, but because again the second service was going to be starting, it wasn't an opportunity to just linger, if you will. And it's a smaller church. Yes, the congregation is smaller. They're just building it. It's just like home church kind of feel.
Pioneering that church.
We are. They call it seed. Yeah, planting the seed.
So
and so we're part of that location. But by the time we got to the second location, it was ending, but their altar call was a bit more massive. Big. And so it took a little more time, and we were just still there. And I was actually chatting with another sister from the church, and Devon comes over and shares, hey, I hope y'all don't mind, staying a little longer, because we were there with some guests as well, because I decided to get baptized. And I was floored because we had not talked about this. We hadn't had any type of discussion. And like I said, I was for sure if we had any discussion and I had even suggested it would not have even happened like that. But so for him to come, it was really authentic. It was very organic. And so that was his shirt. And above all else, the pastor gave him Optimus Prime.
Oh, I should have brought him.
What?
He's here on the kitchen table.
Yes, he's the centerpiece.
Yeah.
He's next to the prayer cards. And what I love about Pastor Mike's delivery of this, the name of the church again is Nations Church in Athens. But what I loved about Pastor Mike's delivering of this message, because it is called Transformation. So it's literally Transformation Nation. Y'all, and doesn't that rhyme? Because y'all know we're Plantation Nation. So, or as my daughter would say,
what's that tongue?
We love it. We love it. We're into it. But he touched on it in a way that I had never considered. And y'all know me, I love perspective. I love perspective thinking. I love perspective approaches. And his perspective of the approach was Optimus Prime could be
Valley.
Was?
No, you just turned Valley.
Okay. But his approach to it was not Optimus Prime not having to change. And like growing up, I never thought that was a bad thing. I'm like, okay, he changes when he has to, he has to do that. But what do I always say? I always tell people that who I am is who I am to you, who I am to you, except for, like I said, when we in the bedroom, and who I am to when I'm talking to my teachers is who I am when I'm talking to my kids, is who I am when I'm talking to the community, is who I am when I'm talking to people at church. I don't code switch. I don't do a, hey, and like I said, that comes from root. You know how they say if you raise up a child in the way that they should go, they will never depart from it. We couldn't do slang in my household. I remember one time, I love telling this story because I was so embarrassed at the time, but me and Karen Stokes, we had exchanged some letters and we would slang it up and we would curse in it and the whole nine. My dad saw that letter. My dad said, Courtney, who are you talking to? And I said, no, Dad, it's like, she's a friend. And he said, you call your friend this? I said, yeah. He said, rewrite this letter. And I had to rewrite this letter. And I remember when I handed that to Karen said, what is this? And I said, I'm not going to be able to write letters like that to you no more. It ain't going to be my homie, my dog, my bee. It wasn't going to be no more of that. It wasn't going to be no more of that. It wasn't going to be no N because, we had horrible nicknames for each other. And my dad was appalled. And you have to consider too, my dad and my mom both came from being teachers. So they both came from being teachers to now being social workers, but they kept that energy. But we weren't allowed to code switch. So when Pastor Mike brought this message home that the way he did, I considered that was a way of saying no code switching, no code switching. So in 2025, no code switching. I am who I am, and I'm gonna stand 10 toes down in it, and that's just what it is. So so yeah, I love that, and he gave him Optimus Prime. I said I don't know anybody that gets like has gotten a trophy after getting baptized. My kids, when they got baptized, they got dog tags. Thank you, Mr. Houston Marshall, Church of Christ of Miami, Florida. Of course, I've gotten the shirt, that sort of thing. But this was a full out prop that he used during his sermon, and he gifted it to my husband.
Well, that's because the first sermon, only two of us knew what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up on Optimus, on this Transformers, more than meets the eye,
Yeah.
So, I might have blurred something out during the sermon.
Might have, you did, but I don't think that it was just because of that reason. Yeah. I do think that was a true example. And so every time when I see him slip, and I say, no, stay optimist, and think about even the word of optimist. It means being optimistic. And what's the card you got yet again today? Hold on to the good.
Yeah.
He keeps getting that. And so God is speaking in this season. The thing of it is that do you listen? Do you want to hear? So yeah, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna jump into it because I'm also feeling a little giddy, y'all. I got my babies back. Oh, my babies are back in the place. They were trapped in Virginia for a little bit with their snowstorm, and then there was a little delay because we got the snowstorm. So, but they're now here, so they should be here for the next snowstorm that hits here. They should be here. But so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little giddy, and but the conversation, my spirits have to be high because the conversation is going to put us there. It really is. Yeah.
Let me start this one.
Okay, baby.
I don't want to butcher her name. It's Nazia, right?
Nazia. Yeah, but they called it Tuda or Tuda, something like that. But yeah, she had a nickname. Nazia
Harris.
Yeah.
Like when Courtney was telling me about this, I kind of purposely stayed away from this story.
I noticed. I did.
Until I guess today, basically. And
thank you.
I kind of read some things, watched a couple of videos. It's hard to watch.
It is. It is.
Because I just recently went through something, and I don't want to get into it because it's not my story to tell. Where people knew, and here it is years later, they still like turning a blind eye and seeing nothing, and then expect certain things. Again, like I said, I don't want to go too hard because, again, this is not my story to tell. And I had to hold family members at bay to protect another loved one. And so this was kind of hard.
I'm glad you're open to doing it because I really honestly, I was like, if I had to do the show by myself, I had no problem to do it. I didn't want to, but I knew that would be hard. I knew that would be hard.
We have to protect our women, especially our young women. And I was watching some videos and, testimony stuff with the grandmother and all that stuff. She's talking about, I'm reading the comments. And there was a few comments that was like, this is what happens when women are, pick-me's and they just settle for this, settle for that.
Yeah.
And
They haven't found no bones. Not in this particular story, excuse me, Naima, but not in this particular story. They have not found any bones. And I believe the other one too, because go ahead, because there's another case that's very eerily similar to this, very eerily similar. And but it occurred in Jacksonville.
But they like listen to some of the testimony. I had to kind of stop listening to the grandmother. Like I said, this was hard for me, and like I said, I purposely stayed away from this story. Nasiah was failed on so many levels. Now, reading the text messages, you know, you would get some people that were like, oh, she was fast. First of all, she's what, 13?
She was, when they started, she was 11. 11. But in the height of those text messages, she was 12.
So 11, 12, 13, whatever.
Yeah.
This dude was 40 years old.
40
years old. 5 children with her aunt.
Yeah. And 13 children in all
13
that they know of.
But this is the thing that he did 10 years for a whole nother incident with a 4-year-old that he gave chlamydia to.
That was his daughter. The 4-year-old was his daughter.
Right. And there was 2 other assaults on a niece, minor, whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're all family members.
Mm.
This guy is literally preying on family members. You know, he is, and this is what they do. This is, you know, because it's easy access. And as parents, as other family members, as grown men, we cannot turn the blind eye. Mm-hmm. You know, and it felt like when I'm listening to the grandmother's testimony, like there's no way you're going through her tablet, you're going there and you don't see these things.
Right.
There's no way you don't see that this guy has an eye for her. Mm-hmm. You cannot, you and for it to go, you know, this, and for them not to notice that she's pregnant. So somebody's not paying attention. Somebody is lying about how much attention this little girl is being paid. They're not watching. It's like and I get it. You got 6 other kids in the house?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Then you know what? You need to get 6 pairs of eyes.
Yeah, that's usually 5 other.
She was failed on so many levels, and the fact that the police department didn't even pick the case up until a month. Why is the school investigating a missing person?
Wow, that
was baffling to me. Wow. I couldn't, like, are you kidding me? So here it is. She's been gone for a month, and the police have not been called yet. The school, literally, the school is doing an investigation.
Yeah.
What are you investigating? Why she's not coming to class?
Yeah.
She's a whole missing person. It was. She was failed on a lot of levels, starting in the home, and it just continued. And the fact that when the police did step in, they was able to connect the dots so fast. Maybe after that first night, maybe this girl still be alive. Maybe she did be alive. And if they couldn't save her, at least, you know, she could get a proper burial, whatever. But now there's no telling it.
Because it's been a
where
year.
Where his body is.
Yeah, it's been a year.
And he's not going to say anything. He's not. He's going to take this to the grave, or maybe, you know, he'll attempt to get right with God, and you know, she can be laid to rest properly. But culturally, this speaks on so many things is wrong with our culture.
Yeah, that's correct too, Naima. It was the grandmother. Waited 24 hours before she reported it. That is correct.
Yeah, she said she drove around. I don't believe her. I don't believe her. She went looking. If you drive around and you look and you don't find it after a couple hours, you go to the police station.
Yeah, that part. I'm horrible with it, y'all. I be wanting to go to. I've had to be talked off of down ledges a couple of times after an hour, after 40 minutes. And my daughter, she is she'll sometimes she's slow at responding back, and I'm just like, I need to call the cops. I need to call the cops. I remember one time she walked home from school the entirety without ever texting or calling. And I mean, literally, the moment she got, this is when you were still in New York. The moment when she got through that door, I was literally on the phone because I had called the bus. The bus had told me she didn't make it on the bus. My mind is 100 million ways, but calling the cops is like, that's always, hey, first. Let me get these cops on the phone. Then we'll figure it out together. We're gonna have a powwow. We're gonna have a powwow together, and we're gonna figure it out. But and I think God for the Athens transportation community, of which you have a birthday brother on that transportation team, Sergeant Harris. Always, when I tell you these folks pick up that phone. Yeah, they pick up that phone, no matter.
I got a lot of complaints about Athens.
Yeah,
the school transportation thing ain't one of them.
It's not. They will pick up that phone. As a matter of fact, my daughter, they were on a bus that was in a minor traffic accident. Before the text even reached me from my daughter, they were on the phone calling, saying, "Hey, it was on a minor. It's going to be corrected. They're going to be to school, but just to let you know." When it comes to that, kudos. I think maybe the Athens Police Department might, say, hey, this may be the way we should be handling some things when it comes to community engagement. And, that's how you build trust. But yeah, I couldn't imagine saying 24 hours, especially everyone by all accounts said that this young lady was, this young lady was she was not a problematic student. And I will say this, and I've got to say
I don't care about that. I don't care if she was hell on wheels.
But no, but what I'm saying is that's the reason why it should have been a red flag. Like she didn't give the typical, she didn't give the typical symptoms of a runaway teenager. She was always constantly in touch on her social media. She was very active there. She wasn't a problematic student. She was always, at school. She had school friends that she enjoyed being around. It was not like she was in a life of isolation and then she just disappeared. This was somebody that people were literally actively looking for, being there. And I will say this, and it's not said enough. And I think I know why it's not said, because you don't want that to be, I think that people don't want that to be a distraction from the horrendous activities and tragedies that took place in this.
Wait, what do you mean? What would be the distraction?
I'm about to get to that. Her beauty. She was a beautiful girl. Mm-hmm. She was a really cute, beautiful girl. And I'm going to say this. I did follow the actual trial, the preliminary trial, right? As those tuning in, you might know, or some of you might not, but so there was a preliminary trial to hearing to decide if this was going to go to trial. So that means, y'all, what we saw, you've witnessed, if you've been watching last week, is that's not the whole thing of what they're going to bring out during the trial. Right. And so you're talking about they were getting the meats and the meat and the fat of it, but the other things that are going to come out, I believe, during that trial will absolutely incriminate. It will incriminate the aunt and the grandmother and a few other family members. It will expose them, because I did follow a couple of other family members that were very concerned about what was going on in and out of that home, and they said that their homes were attacked. And I'm saying, who is attacking these homes?
So you a little more familiar with the case now,
right?
I did a few things, like, so
right.
Is like Attacked how? What do you mean?
There, one lady, her car was they tried to rig her car, like
Like the grandmother,
like cut the
also?
brake line. No. There were other aunts. There are other aunts, cousins, and they were the ones that were pushing like, hey, before this even happened, she shouldn't be staying in this house,
Oh, they
this
was
sort of
wild.
thing. What do you mean? Who was
Like
wilding?
the family was wild, and they was cutting people's brakes and things of that nature.
Yes, the family was cutting other family members' brakes.
Like trying to hurt each other.
Yes, because they were mad that they were like, oh, you don't know what's going on over here. Like, you need to kind of just mind your business, like mind your household type of thing. Like, it was that. Yeah, it was that. It was infighting in this family, protecting this predator. Saying, oh, you don't know how this makes, the baby mom feel. And that's your sister. You need to be more cared about her. This ain't about him. This is about protecting her and her children. And you're going around telling people that we knew and blah, 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 blah. And they were, one of the cousins, I believe, her locks of her door were cut off. So these were things that they were doing just to let them know, hey, we can touch you. We can touch you and we will. She I think she said for like a week after he was taken into custody, she had to have surveillance around around the clock at her home. And because she is a nurse, this also again still puts her in danger because she goes out and she works in the hospital in the community. And y'all know there is nothing that can show how small a community is when a tragedy like this happens. You find out who's connected, and you find out whose side and where people's loyalty lies, and it's disgusting. I want to just share really, I won't say quickly, but just share just something that I believe is absolutely why there's a connection that I feel to this, because I think I always say there is an exception to the standard that doesn't change the standard. But I want us to really, when we have these conversations, when we have these discussions, we've got to be honest and we've got to be real, like, so I can definitely attest, like I tell you all the time, the 13-year-old Courtney thought in her 13-year-old mind that I was going to marry Scottie Pippen. Legit thought that this was going to be the case. Y'all, I'm wearing my red today. I thought this was going to be the case. And, I was just like, all I need to do is just meet him. Because, when I meet him, I'm going to, I got things I'm going to tell him that are going to, they're going to blow his mind. I'm going to meet him. And they were coming to play the Orlando Magic. And I told my dad, I said, I gotta, we gotta go to the game. I gotta meet Scottie Pippen. And my dad was like, Courtney, are you crazy? like legit, like, do we need, because he was driving me to school, like the car rolled back and he was still like looking at me like, it was the truck, but he was like, are you crazy? Like, you're stupid. Like, and because, like, look who you're talking to your dad. And I was just like, yeah, I was like, Dad, that's what's going on. That's what's happening. Like, that's just the way it's going to be. I'm going to be, Courtney Omega Pippen over here, cop. I was going to be it. And he was just like, that's just not going to happen. And, what if my dad in that moment, and I told the story before, because when Boosie was talking this foolishness about getting his sons checked out, but I told the story then.
His sons checked out.
Yeah, he takes his sons. He was saying that he takes his sons. Now he has since retracted that, said that he was kidding, but we know that was not. When his sons turned 12, he takes them to a professional to get worked on.
At 12?
At 12.
It's child abuse. See,
yeah.
This, you know what?
Yeah.
This is the nonsense I'm talking about. With like is a culture we need to kind of like.
That's why it's kingdom over culture, baby.
I grew up. I'm from the Bronx, but like my family is from Harlem, on 12th between Lenox and 5th.
He got that coat coming too, y'all. He got that coat coming.
No,
that coat gonna be snazzy.
See. Anyway, you know,
Can't
like
be
I
that
said,
cold
112
right now.
between
That's
Lennox
why
and
he
Fifth,
offended.
Foster Projects, you know, bang bang. You already know. So there was a time during when Mace, Cam, and all these dudes, when they hadn't really signed their deals yet, but locally in Harlem, they was hot as fire.
Yeah.
The mixtapes, you know, when mixtapes was really mixtapes, not what you know they doing now, but like they were kind of like local legends, put it like that. You know, Harlem World before it went boom boom.
Yeah.
So you know, this is why I kept. So I'm like, yeah, Harlem World original, you know, all that stuff. But this was a thing. So in that area, everybody goes to Wappy. This is a middle school.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing to see Mace Park. Now Mace is my age.
Yeah.
Mace is 49, 50. He's my age.
Okay.
So this is a time when I think either
Is he still a reverend?
I don't know. Because
his stories on that show,
like
he is not.
He ain't coming like
the
he
stories on that show, they be very racist.
I mean, like every now and then, you know, he'll say something like kingdom wise, but then it's right
very
back
smart,
to,
very smart. Yeah. And even when very
but
smart,
look, like I'm saying, like it was nothing to see
definitely
Mace
not kingdom
out there park in front of a middle school.
Really?
Absolutely. Like it was not like this.
So he was coming to pick up.
I don't know what he was doing. I know I went to
one.
I think it was might have been Tawana. Because Tarky is 2 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was out of school. Maybe I don't know. I forget why I was down there. I was going down to pick up one of my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, me and Mace, we the same age.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out of school at the time. Like this is like right before I decided I was going to be running up and down the East Coast. And I went over there and I'm looking at Mace. And like, I see here. Mm-hmm. Like I know why I'm here. Yeah. But like you parked and you kind of like flashing a little bit here.
Yeah.
You know, like this is what we doing. So this is not but now because it's Mace, you know, nobody says anything. Because, you know, like I said, at this time these dudes was like stupid hot. They, you know, they stupid hot.
Yeah. Like
I said, you know, they pretty much local legends at this point. And they hadn't even signed their little deals and nothing, but everybody know who these guys are. Mace, Can, you know, all that stuff. Anyway, and not only that, but there was a time these dudes was ballers. They played ball.
Yeah, yeah.
Basketball. So between the basketball and the rap, these dudes is local heroes.
Yeah.
But it was nothing to see these guys park. Well, I never seen Cam there. I never seen Cam. So I don't want to put that out there, never seen Cam. But Mace, it was nothing to see him there. Yeah. Parked up in front of a middle school. Well, you know, we call them junior high up there. Yeah. It's front of junior high school. But as a culture, we got to stop turning a blind eye.
And yeah, just accepting that.
Just accepting like, oh, it's just the way it is. No, it's not the way it is.
And Naima, to your point, first of all, don't make me fight you through here because yes, I thought I was going to marry Nas too, but I was adult. But we're all about the same age as Nas. I was 13 telling my father, I'm going to marry a man in his 30s. I thought it was so cute because I remember, I think one of the years he turned 33. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. You know, he's 33 and now he's 33 and I'm 13. Yes, everything. This is going to be our year. All lined up. This is going to be our year. But imagine in that moment, if my dad had said, you know what? She trying to get like that anyway. She going to get there anyway. So yeah, let's get on over there. And trust me, I've heard some stories of mothers dressing their daughters up. There's a place in Miami, and they have a group of, it's like a union called the Longshoremen or something like that. And they're known to, they have great benefits. They're part of a union and they, you know, make a lot of money. And there were several men that have told me that, several longshoremen that have told me that, these moms will dress their girls up and, you know, drop them off. There was a hall, like a hangout hall they used to be at. They would drop them off, and they expected them to come back with the catch, with some money. So and there, of course we heard the stories too during R. Kelly. Oh, these parents need to be brought in because they're selling them too. Now, trust and believe, I do agree to that, and we've had several conversations about that. We do agree the parents need to be held accountable as well. But who are you selling the children to? Who the person you're selling to also needs to be held accountable. I cannot stand when people only want to see that one side of it. Oh, these parents are so wrong. These parents will put them out there like that. Okay, but you're not gonna be able to sell it to somebody that don't want it. All day somebody can say,
Can't sell
"Oh,
if there's no market for it."
Yeah, all day somebody can say, "Oh, it should be, you shouldn't be selling that crack." But Courtney ain't buying that crack, so that I'm not going down with that, sir and ma'am. But the reason why I just have to really add to this conversation in regards to the the sensitivity and the awareness that we as a people, and I'm just going to speak for the group to which I belong, of course, but people say, oh, I would do this and I would do that, but I know a lot of people that don't. I've had a lot of girlfriends give me some horrible advice. I'm talking about, from every which a thing, and from every which a age. This is not somebody. This is somebody that would probably say, I remember there was this girl. And let me tell you, these two young ladies, I love them. When I tell you I love them, they were the bee's knees to me in Miami. And one of them was a hairdresser. The other one was but beautiful girls. But one of them was a hairdresser. The other one was she was like an administrator at University of Miami. But she was very active in the community. And I remember when the R. Kelly thing broke. Now, the one that was the administrator at the University of Miami, she had a daughter, beautiful daughter, and her husband was a semi-pro basketball player. And so he would travel a lot, and she would always be like, oh my gosh, I can't be bothered with this life. Like, this is this crazy, because like he'd be on the road and then we come back, he want to make another baby. I don't want no more baby. I don't want no more babies. I'm good with this one. But he want to, because he wants a son. He want to make another baby. But her sister, she had a salon in Coconut Grove. And I just take my daughter. And I remember when the R. Kelly thing happened, this lady, she, and I'm not going to say young because she was a grown age, put on her Facebook that anybody that is giving it up want to be giving it up.
Huh?
That's what she said. That she put on a Facebook post, was talking about in response to this R. Kelly. And she said, "Now I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to bump R. Kelly all the time. I'm going to bump him all the time. And I don't care about these." I don't know if she said fast girls, but she said something like to that liking about these girls that's pitching woo. And and I said, what would you say if it was your niece in that situation? And she said that wouldn't happen to my niece. Like my niece has a great parents, and she got me, so that wouldn't happen to her. And I was like, And I told her, I said, fair enough. I never took my daughter there again. Because what would I look like taking my daughter there and going up the street and saying, hey, which is something that I had done in the past. Hey, I'm going to go get her something to eat. Do you want something to eat? Because I'm going to get her something to eat. Can she be here for a couple of minutes? Yeah, sure, go ahead. So my daughter was getting to the age, 9, 10, 11. What happens? A guy comes in, and because my daughter doesn't know how to address that situation, it may appear to her that she seemed with it. So this contact is made, but she's not bringing me into the conversation because your daughter must be low on it. So, because this is the way my mind works, and I may be an overthinker, but that's the way my mind works. Because I'm like, if you would say these type of things, that means that you're not looking out for nobody. You're not looking out for nobody except for your niece that you are sure not going to end up like that because she got good parents and she got you. So it's something to be said when this discussion is it takes a village, because with what has become the norm in our communities is they must want that. They must want that.
See, here's the problem.
Never took my daughter back there again, though. I don't play that. I don't play that.
I think that was a good decision because
Yeah.
that broad is stupid.
Yeah.
But here's the problem with that whole, like when a female's 13, 12, 10, whatever, she and talks of the Scottie Pippins and the Nas and whoever, even Raheem from around the corner.
Yeah.
And these guys in their 20s and these guys in their 30s.
Yeah. Saw a lot of that in Philly too. It blew my mind. Blew my mind.
To me, that's on the dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the dude. She's not even old enough to comprehend what's really going on. And
you saw that in those text messages. Yeah. Those text messages were on another level.
Like it's not.
I couldn't believe it. Because when you're reading them, you could watch what he's doing.
Yeah,
you can watch what he's doing.
Okay, so like he's talking about one thing. She's still talking about gym class.
Mm. Yeah,
she's talking about gym class.
Yeah,
she's talking about basement this thing, and like it's not.
I just mean like with the manipulation.
You cannot hold these little girls, and this is what they are. They are little girls.
Yeah,
you cannot hold them accountable for and be talking about they're fast. No.
Mm-mm.
They are fast because they are made fast.
Come on.
They have been molded. They have been shaped. They have been groomed.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that a 12 and 10-year-old seduced.
Yeah.
A 30-year-old man.
A grown man.
There is nothing anyone could ever tell me that can convince me that this little girl seduced a grown man.
Yeah.
You can't even convince me that a little girl seduced a teenage boy.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way. There is no way. So even at 12 and 13, I don't care if she's walking around with a thong and the little, what you call them things?
The bra tops?
The halter tops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I don't care if she's made up to look like a stripper, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. She's 13.
Yeah.
She's 10, she's 12, she's 11, whatever it is. You got to be kidding me. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Their mind can't even comprehend what's going on. You can't. They're not even mature enough to yeah, this is not.
And I want to highlight too and just say props to a couple of people that I know for sure just they live by that as well. That it does not matter. I remember I booked the show. I booked Juvenile for a show, and he was having a little party on the tour bus, y'all. So me with myself, I booked the show. Now I was on the seat and sitting down in the front. They were starting to pass drinks around, and he said, "Hey, has she been?" Now mind you, I had already gotten on his bad side because I kept calling him Terrius, because I was just like, oh, you need to sign this. And he was just like, Juvenile. And I was like, okay, Terrius, sign here. And he was like, man, you can't get out of this tent. Get out of this tent. Okay, that was first thing, because I'm going to call you government. Like, sign here. This is the contract. It goes back. But then we're on the tour bus and I'm thinking things are cool. And, there's drinks starting to be passed around and they're like, oh, everybody get your IDs out. I legitimately didn't have an ID at the time. And I got put off that bus. Like, okay, well, you have to leave. And, I was like, I was cool with it because we were just in the hotel parking lot. So I was like, I'm going to go on upstairs to my room then. Like, I've been kicked out of better parties. But yeah, I legitimately didn't have an ID. And they were like, okay, well, you got to get off the bus. So that is something that I can say I experienced and I witnessed personally. Now, I will say this. Of course, I'm not in every situation. So if something comes back around and they're like, oh no, well, this happened. What my experience does not dismiss anybody else's. I want to say that and be clear on that. But that just was my experience with the situation. Nobody protected her. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it does happen. Like I said, it happens in our families. It happens in our communities. It happens in our neighborhoods. In my own family. I had my second oldest sister. She was dating a gentleman, and he had actually he used to give me money here and there. He would he drove a BMW. He was kind of imagine from a 12-year-old 13-year-old's point of view, he was rich. I mean, I know better now. But 12, 13-year-olds, he looked rich. And, he would come over and he would be like, hey, here's a little something, buy you something. So about the third time, I was telling him about this. He was like, oh, Courtney, you got your, he was from the Virgin Islands. He said, you got your bull stuff. Cause I was, of course, like I said, really into the bulls. And, I was like, yeah, I want to get this t-shirt. I want to get this t-shirt. I think Jordan had just come back out of retirement. Hey, and I wanted to get this t-shirt. And he was just like, well, how much is it? How much is it? And I was like, oh, I only need $15 more. Like I got, a couple of dollars. I only need $15 more. And he said, I'm going to give you some more if you buy a little bikini and you take some pictures of yourself. And I didn't know what that even meant. Because first of all, y'all, I ain't wear no bikini. I was like, there's no way I'm going to buy a bikini without Rosalind knowing. Like, I couldn't even wrap my head around what he was trying to say. Like, and then on top of that, y'all, to be quite honest, I was just like, I don't feel like I'm going to look good in a bikini. I want to be honest. Had I been maybe, feeling myself, I might have been like, yeah, okay, shoot, and a couple of dollars, and I'm just gonna take a picture in this bikini. But I was like, like no, I don't know, like I don't want to. But I knew enough to know that it was odd. It was odd, and so when I did tell my sister, and y'all, that took a lot to tell my sister because I didn't even know what that was, God bless my daddy. God bless, the men that I was constantly in contact with. I'd never had a feeling of, it was never that type of energy. So I didn't even know what that was. So I told my sister, because she when she would go out to dinner, sometimes she would invite, us, and especially if they went to Olive Garden, that was our favorite. And so she was like, Courtney, he's going to be here in a couple of minutes. Do you want to come? And I said, no, I don't want to go. And she was like, why not? Why don't you want to come? And I said, well, I explained what happened. And she said, well, just come this one time with me. She said, I'm going to break up with him anyway. And if he tries to say anything to you, I'm going to stab him with the fork. And I was like, okay, I guess like it's going to be a bloodbath at Olive Garden, but okay. So I did go to dinner with them that day. I sat on the side of her. I didn't sit next to him. So we had no interaction, but she did not break up with him. He ended up breaking up with her. And I remember when she kept dating him. And I didn't find out until 20 years later that she said she didn't believe me, because if I had really thought that he was a predator, I would have told my mom. And I was floored. I was floored because like I was just like, mom wasn't dating him. This wasn't dad that I was talking about. This was your boyfriend. And she said, but mom's the strong one. And now, mind you, we're talking about this, and my mom is not even deceased at this point. But she said, mom was the strong one. Mom could have done something. I couldn't do anything. So like, kind of like, why did you tell me? Because I couldn't do anything. So there is something that is happening in our communities also, which is we vilify these girls to justify our cowardice.
That's good. That's
Thank
good.
you.
Okay. No, other hand.
But it's true.
That's good.
We have to say, oh, they're fast, oh, they're this and that, because we don't have the courage to say to, like I said, this gentleman was looking, like I said, he was rich, or he was rich to us, Yeah. And we have to look at the looks of this guy.
I just thought about
he was
something.
a good looking guy, and you looked at the type of women that he was with. And it hurts me too that, I want to say something real quick to that. It hurts me that I'm hearing and I'm seeing a lot of comments where it's very consistent that everybody's talking about how bad these women looked. And I just don't think that's fair. I really don't think that's fair. It hurts. It really does hurt because
how bad these women look.
Yeah, they talk about that's a hard 35, that's a hard 40, that's a hard this, that's a.
We just had a conversation about somebody being, looking a little older than what they are.
We did, but it's like they're saying with these women that they're pick-me's and they look desperate. And I just don't think that y'all are really considering that this man was a good-looking man. He was a very good-looking man, very predatory. And I'm not saying that I should excuse the behavior, but again, like I said, we act like we're not distracted or we're not. I remember seeing something on Facebook a couple of years ago, and they said people getting mad at, I think at the time, it was somebody black, but it was before the P. Diddy stuff because it was a couple of years ago and it wasn't R. Kelly. But they were just saying that people get mad that, it might have been Cardi B. It might have been Cardi B, and that's what it might have been that. They were like, people get mad at Cardi B for going back to Offset, yet they still keep picking up Ray Ray from the Burger King and making him come home. Like, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. And so on the other side, you may be thinking, oh no, but Cardi B got options. I don't have no options, but yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Let me see.
But you were about to say another point before I cut you off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna get to that because that's a good point you just made.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to, for all these women out here that's listening, I'm gonna let you know a little secret.
And I wanted to get to that visitation conversation too.
Visitation.
You were saying what women be lining up in that visitation.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. But go ahead.
So I want everyone to understand this. All the women. Because this pick me thing, I didn't even know what that was until maybe about, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that was. And this is I'm about to break man code.
Man code.
Listen, we don't care. Listen, we don't care. Okay, I can't make it any more simpler. 99% of us are not very picky.
Mm.
You show us a little attention, cook us a good meal. We
and now you got me feeling some type of way. Wait a minute. You got me feeling some type of way.
No, but I said 99%. I mean that 1%.
Okay, that's more than 1%. That's about 4%. And you said 96%. Come on.
Well, I said 99. But whatever it is.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, for the most part.
Oh, you could say 99. Okay.
Even the saddest, the ugliest, the whatever there is somebody
that's gonna hit.
That's gonna bed this woman.
Yeah, and I've said that too with the something that I watched.
Wait a second. I'm gonna give you a prime example. I lived in the Atlantic City area for years, and it was this lady. Anybody from New Jersey in the Atlantic City area will know exactly who I'm talking about. This lady literally had no legs and no arms, rolled around the city on a cart.
Yeah.
Thing or whatever.
Yeah, I remember you told me about it.
She had 6 kids. And she was a big woman. She had 6 kids. She wasn't a pretty woman. No arms, no legs. Listen, not exaggerating. She had like 6 kids. And the first time I seen them, I'm like, who is hopping on that? But you know what? Somebody was. Mm-hmm. Somebody was. And I don't know if all the kids had the same father. I do not know that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have the same dad. But I'm saying this to say that somebody will help on that. So this pick me thing is that's look, that's some what's that gender war thing that be going on?
Manosphere.
Yeah, that's some crap there. But now I'm gonna get back to what I was saying. I think some of this. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying none of this garbage. I think some of it though might have been passed on from generations.
Yeah.
Like the younger girl thing and all that stuff, especially in the South. Excuse me, especially in the South, because so I'm doing my family tree, and I get to my great grandfather. No, wait. Yeah, great grandfather. I had to look at the chart. And he died. Well, when my grandmother was young, he passed away. And I just always assumed that, something happened, he died young. That's what I assumed. But my grandmother was the youngest of 6. Mm-hmm. And he died when she was young. When I did the ages, I said, wait a minute. When my grandmother was born, my great grandmother already had 5 kids. Mm. My grandmother was born when my great grandmother was 19.
Wow.
So at 19, she was already pushing out her 6th kid. 6. So me and my cousin, we was doing some calculating. I'm like, how old was she when she started having babies?
Right.
And the first thing popped in my head was Color Purple.
Yeah.
Remember I told you, I was like, yo, there's some Color Purple stuff going on here.
Yeah.
Now, you be talking early 1900s. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is my great-grandmother was born, I think, in 1910. Yes, 1910. All right, so I'm not people, some young people. 1910. I'm pretty sure it was 1910. And so me and my cousin, we was kind of doing some calculating because I didn't have the date of my oldest great aunt, or grand aunt, or whatever. I know it's either Aunt B or Beatrice. I'm not really sure which one is the oldest, but we didn't have the date on either one of them. And so there was some jokes, but this is what was going on back then. These guys would literally take their daughters and give them to these dudes that were in their 40s, because now they were marrying these women, these girls, and putting babies in them. Right. But it also explained a lot about my family. Period. That a lot of stuff is hush hush until we get to New York. Yeah. Because this was Mobile, Alabama, and Mobile, Alabama is deep south.
Well, but I was going to say, like I said, in Philly, I saw a lot of that behavior. So I would.
But Philly has a big Muslim population too. They do that.
That is a good point.
They do that, like the younger girl. They do that.
That's a good point. Because I don't know.
Hold on. Let me clarify. Let me clarify. Yeah. It's permissible within their religion to the younger girls. Again, not justifying any of this crap, because to me that's what it is. I don't care about none of that. Like, she's not old enough to really make a real decision.
Agreed.
But it's permissible
in their culture,
and I'm not saying that this is what these guys do.
It's expected. Yeah, it's expected. Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that this is what they, like all of them do this.
Because I think the general rule of thumb is they're supposed to have 7 years on their bride.
I forget the actual number, but it's something to that nature. Yeah. I forget the number. I don't want to just guess.
But because I did see that pretty prevalently. And again, like you said, even if someone is not of that faith, the influence is so heavy that it might appeal to people that grew up watching it, are seeing it, and they're saying, "Oh, he got all these fly young girls," and familiarity, right, with it. It's normalized. It's normalized behavior. Because I was told by many people, I had my whole heart broken by many guys talking about was I old head, which you a senior. I was like, so it would be like a double stab. Because here I was a teacher, not even a senior, but I was called an old head for being 18 or 17. I was an old head. So yeah, my little feelings got hurt a couple of times by these guys, these men, grown men coming to pick up these girls. And in the school where I was teaching at, Philadelphia High School for Girls, they actually had a whole section of the school that was for teen moms, so that the girls could come. It was a daycare downstairs. The girls could drop off their babies and go upstairs and go to school. And it's that blew my mind. And even though I had a good friend, Miss Keisha, Mrs. LaKeisha, who helped with keeping that program prevalent, as she was also a teen mom. But she wasn't a teen mom at this point in time. Of course, she was a grown woman, but she had her children as a teenager. And she was very smart, very bright, and she advocated for this program being continued and being funded, despite the negative connotation or notion that was about this particular program. And it was something, I want to say, with my conservative mindset, it was something kind of hard for me to get on board with. I just thought that was so, weird, and it was so odd to just have this in school. Yeah, no, but to have this in a school, and I just wanted to kind of have compassion for my friend. But at the same time, I'm thinking, that sounds like, it's almost like a acceptance, like, hey, if, you get pregnant and you have your baby, you can keep coming to school. And, the older that I got, the more I saw, okay, well, what's wrong with that? But at the time, like I said, I was in my early 20s. I think that that's kind of like promoting it, kind of like the same adage of having birth control items readily available in the bathroom, which was also a big thing that was pushed for when I was when I was a teenager. They thought you should, there was a school district that wanted to literally have condoms put in the girls' bathroom.
See, I'm kind of torn with that.
Yeah.
Because
I'm like, well, they don't even have penises. Why would it be put in the girls' bathroom?
Because definitely, I'm abstinence is always the best. Especially when you're that young, you should not be having sex. But at the same time, you do want them to protect themselves at all costs. And I don't know if it's advertising.
Promoting. I think it kind of is to a certain degree. We look at the Amish community, right? Mm-hmm. That's why, again, we gotta, especially in 2025 with the kingdom over culture mindset, it's gotta be kingdom. It's gotta be kingdom. It's because when we start making these kind of compromises and adjustments, y'all know in the Old Testament, you was killed. You was killed, but we have gotten very lazy with not appreciating or not understanding how urgent and how severe not following protocol is. And I know when I get on my, soapbox like this, it's not popular. It's not something that you're expecting for I'm a married woman now. And I always say this, it's very interesting how people have these conversations. I'm the same person mentally, but when you are a married woman and you have children, people listen a whole lot differently than when you are a single Black woman with kids. A whole lot gets, and so that's why I would always make it I would always double down and on when people would, I could tell their minds were racing and assuming, and let them know This was what the situation was, what it is. And I never wanted to be a stereotype, but statistically, yeah, there I was. So it's not the viewpoint that is typical of someone that has had the type of experiences that I've had, but that makes them no less valid. Makes them no less valid. We have got to get back on code. We've got to honor God. This is the only way we not only survive but succeed, y'all. Succeed. But to young girls, to those babies, you babies out here, I'm talking to y'all specifically. Don't be like me and only tell one person, because heaven forbid you're talking to a coward. Tell many people. Tell many people. And it doesn't, if they get tired of listening, find somebody else that'll listen. Now I will say this. I have known personally women that have lied, girls that have lied. I do. But I promise you, it far exceeds the number of the people, the girls that are shamed into not saying anything. Those numbers far exceed girls that I know that have lied about situations to case somebody up, or because they wanted somebody back. It's a very, especially when you get into these teenage relationships, and these girls and young men think that they're in love, and they're having serious attachments to one another. And then things don't go the way they want them to go, and they're willing to say things that aren't true. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, and it does. It does happen, but we've got to return back to a culture that we believe these young ladies, and we believe in them. Because those text messages, like you said, Naima, they were hard. They were hard to read. They were hard to hear. I tell you, it was like a train wreck listening to them. They got worse and worse. Talking about positions, and let me hop on it real quick. And this is an 11, 12-year-old talking. It did blow my mind, but always, y'all, invite God into your conversations with your children, discernment and wisdom over everything. Pray for it, fast for it, ask for it. Ask that your eyes not be blinded. Ask that your ears are open, and that your heart is pure. So, there's not too much I can say about this situation to bring any type of peace from it. Really is not. But I can definitely share that the delusion is very real for us to think that this is not happening under some of our own noses, and we're so on top of it. We're not. I can tell you that, like I said, from my own personal experience, and I thought that I was a very much hands-on, all the time there, present mom. And we don't want to believe certain things. We don't want to believe certain things, and we want to think that, oh, I would know miraculously. I'm going to know, but it doesn't happen that way. So that's why it is something that you got to continue to pray for, and put your kids into the room, into that conversation with praying for, and expecting to have this type of true engagement, having truth. Because remember, there is no my truth, your truth, his truth, her truth. There is only one truth. Okay? So that's all I got, babe. Like I said, y'all, please stop vilifying these these women, calling them they may be a lot of things, but to sit up there calling them ugly and calling them this and that, that's not benefiting nobody. And like I said, what my husband said, 9 times out of 10, these people that are saying this, they probably are sitting around with a man that may not be worth nothing either. But we're calling these women, just horrendous names, pick me's and big backs, and
And like you were saying earlier about when we said about the visual.
Yeah.
Listen, I've done a lot of it, and I've never, and I mean never, whatever institution I'm in, I don't care where it's at, how far it is from these major cities, whatever, I ain't never seen an empty visit hall.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never seen an empty visit hall. Let me tell you something. It ain't always moms coming to see you. These be wives, girlfriends, baby mamas,
side pieces.
Yeah. This couple dudes be having 3-4 chicks. Listen, I ain't never seen an empty visit hall. Snowstorms, I don't care if it's raining, hail, fire, razor blades, them chicks is beating down them doors. So all that, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of that, and it made me feel some type of way, to tell you the truth. Like in the comments, they were like, "Oh, couldn't be me. I wouldn't. That's why you will never date this and that, and couldn't be me." And it had me feeling some type of way. I'm not gonna lie. Like I say, y'all. End of the day, I'm a human being, and I have emotions. But as Pastor Mike said, in the year 2025, we are going to definitely trust God with our emotions, lean on God with our emotions more than ever. Give those emotions to Him and let Him do what He's going to do with them. And again, we're not going to forget that we are in an awesome series as well with our Miami church, with the Apostolic Faith Center. Thank y'all so much for showing up here tonight. But we're in an awesome series of speaking to God and worshiping in those different names, y'all. He is the Emmanuel, Yeshua, so we're learning a lot. Apostolic Faith Center, if not anything else, has provided a lot of knowledge and a lot of info when it comes to not just the New Testament, which I think a lot of churches are comfortable with, but the Old Testament.
Bring the Old Testament back.
Yeah.
Some of these koofies knocked off.
Biblical doctrine. And that has been, that's been a definite influence, and significantly so, an effect in our worship life and plan.
Let me see something though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought the New Testament was a little lovey-dovey to that.
Oh, that last Matthew? Yeah, that Jesus said he didn't come to bring peace. He came to bring the sword. Yes, against daughters and daughter-in-laws and fathers and sons and mothers and daughters. Amen, amen. Y'all, but y'all know I'm on Luke. I'm on Luke right now. And I'm on that 1940. Because Christ said, if I tell them to be silent, surely the rocks will immediately cry out. Oh, I said, Jesus is a savage. Said, it ain't gonna matter. I tell them to be quiet. Things are gonna start worshiping you ain't never even know could worship. You ain't never even know.
I told you, he telling people shut up, they can't stop running their mouth.
And then y'all, 2 songs that I'm on right now. 2 songs I'm on right now. Cry Out by Naomi Rain, y'all. We're getting it together because hubby is going to be working on media for the church. So we're going to start seeing how we're going to incorporate that into our shows to make them a little bit more media. That's right. We're going to make it a little bit more. We're going to make it a little more snazzy dazzy here as well. But Cry Out by Naomi Rain and Rocks. Oh my gosh. Rocks by Phil Thomas. So y'all check these beautiful songs out. I'm not gonna take y'all to church today, But check those songs out. And y'all, church is not just for Sunday. It really isn't. And that's what it's been about, just getting in his word. My daughter gave me some beautiful journals. She came back bearing gifts, y'all. I got some beautiful journals. I started doing my dilly dallying already. I need some more pens. I have them. I have, and I'm filled. I'm ready. I feel good. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Prepare for rain, baby.
Kiss face.
I haven't lost.
So what?
We started the also the week with we ended the week last week with Facing the Giants. Literally first time ever seeing this in its entirety. I've watched a lot of clips. I knew what it was about, and also I was pleasantly surprised to see our old neighborhood also get mentioned in it. Y'all, Tucker, come on, Tucker. All right. But y'all, we thank you for being a part of this conversation. It's not something that is a one-stop shop. I know it's ongoing. I know it is a tough conversation. It's a tough discussion, but y'all, we've got to start having it. We've got to start having it because there is an eerie case that is very similar to this, and it happened in Jacksonville, Florida. And it was with a young lady. I want to say her name was Mael Parker or something along those lines. And the same thing. She was the perpetrator, the alleged killer was married to her aunt. And when I tell you eerily similar, he had the long hair, just like this.
Well, she cut it.
Monster. Yeah, but I'm saying just like he had. That's what I was going to mention. Before he went in for this hearing, and the little trick was working because a couple of people that knew him and worked with him said they didn't notice him in the courtroom. So y'all see this, the tricks be tricking. The tricks be tricking.
I think he wearing the mask though, when he get back, they won't know who he is.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing with the hair.
Cut hair.
Yeah.
Caesar.
And y'all, like I said, I cannot say enough, y'all. This is not, as my daddy used to say, crazy may be crazy, but crazy ain't always ugly. Y'all acting like, you would do this and do this. He did. Richard, rest well, Richard. But he did. But y'all stop acting like, no man, da. This man was a very good looking man, tall, slim. Definitely didn't look no 42. Definitely didn't.
I didn't. So when I seen his age, I was like, oh, okay.
Definitely didn't. So sometimes evil will preserve you as well. Okay. So we that's why I said we got to start telling the truth when it comes to this. We can't keep pretending like, oh no, I would have, and I did this, and I'm glad I never did that. But you're not telling what you did do. You're not telling who you did it for. Because I can testify that I was definitely delusional a couple of times in my life. I definitely did some very much some dusty appreciative behavior. So we got to be honest.
I had a situation once when I was, I might have been about 22, just before I went inside. Well, maybe about a year before I went inside. Where she couldn't have been more than 13, 14. And like I couldn't even understand how she was, in the bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you could tell that she was young. And she was
definitely.
In the bar. Wow.
Definitely.
Wow.
I don't know if Washington's is even still there. There used to be this bar in Pleasantville called Washington's. And right on the back side of it was like these little, I guess, projects for down there in Pleasantville. And we was in there. Like I don't really do the bar thing. This and I wasn't. I've never really been a real big drinker.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a spot. We just hung out, whatever. We smoke, we do whatever. And this is around time you could do all that inside. We had to go outside and smoke and all that stuff. So but anyway, she pulls up in there with her little clique, whatever, and you can tell that they all young, and they all from these projects back there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, how old are you? Like, do that matter? You damn right it matters. Like,
Yeah.
how old are you?
Yeah.
But there was there was an actual conversation. And I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, you're not even like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know why they even letting you in here. But there's other dudes in this ball that's giving her play.
Of course. Of course.
So I'm telling her to say this because I want to reiterate that it ain't on them. It ain't on them. It's not on these little girls. It ain't. It's on these dudes who would give her that time of day.
Yeah.
It's on these dudes who would sit there and entertain this. Like, nah, if you don't get out of here, I might put you on money and spank you. Get out of here. Get a switch and beat your little ass. Get out of here. You know, this is how you need to talk to these girls. Get out of here before you get smacked.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be in here. It's grown folk business. Get out of here. But these dudes entertain this.
Yeah.
So now this is how they get into these situations.
They
like
get
this.
access, yeah. And that continues to perpetuate. And it becomes normalized behavior.
Right. So now when you get this guy who's 40, who's giving chlamydia to a 4-year-old.
Amen. His own daughter. We cannot say that enough. His own daughter.
They protect him.
Yeah.
Because, and for the life of me, I don't even know how you just did 10 years.
That's what people were saying too.
How do you just do 10 years?
Yeah.
Not only is you give the 4-year-old chlamydia, but there was another charge along with that.
Mm-hmm.
He had multiple charges. They said he had like 4 charges, I think, or it was 4 cases. Mm. I know it was multiple cases because they said these guys are serial rapists.
Yeah.
No, serial child rapists.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like how do you only do 10 years? How do you like, I mean,
that's why I said, y'all, the math don't be mathing, but let me tell y'all, again, we've got to stop being oblivious. We've got to stop being in denial. We've got to stop being ridiculous when it comes to this. That let's be clear. People with certain swag and all of that, like, they're able to convince and influence and encourage, these other positions too. And so maybe it could have been a situation where, hey, he's talking right to whoever is bringing forward those numbers, and they present the case.
What happens in situations like that is this, right? When you get these guys, right? Mm-hmm. This is I've seen this firsthand. The justice system is completely and totally out of whack. So it's all about the numbers. Right. It's all about conviction rates and things of that nature.
Right.
So the prosecutor gets in there, right?
Yeah.
They say, okay, got these 10 cases here. Armed robbery, this, that, sexual assault, blah, 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 whatever. A lot of guys would just cop out. So you get them guys out of the way.
Yeah.
So what they would do is they're justify giving a guy 10 years for giving a 4-year-old chlamydia. Right. To say that we don't want to put the child through it again. We're going to save money with a trial. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what they really think is this is a win.
Yeah.
So they what they're doing is they're sacrificing public safety for a W to pad their stats so they can move up.
They can move up in that area. But this is also something that I know, pretty good about as well with my legal background. So I'm saying that this doesn't come with just about it being a win. You like someone, you like they look, how they talk, you offer them different things. And this don't have nothing to do with what you may see with a rap sheet. It's just how this person makes you feel. And if this dude wasn't doing nothing else, we know he was making plenty of women feel comfortable with him, regardless of what he was doing with his predatory status.
And it's also the value of the black woman, and just black period,
But
You know,
yeah,
it's
he
definitely a
was
race
he was
thing.
moving. He was moving around. Exactly. He was moving around and he was doing it to who he could do it to. Because had he probably been doing this with the other, this is Detroit, had been doing this with the envelopian, probably no, no, sir. You're not going to be doing that to our women. And it would have been the vilification would have been different, but it's almost like an expectation when it comes to our communities, to our women, to our families. It's a vilification, even though we know for sure that the same things are happening across the tracks, as they say.
Might
But
be at a higher rate too.
absolutely. But again, we speak from what we know. But
But I don't have the numbers on that.
these
I
men
don't want to
be
be.
these men, they are very they're very convincing, and we got to stop pretending like, oh, okay, I wouldn't be convinced. I wouldn't be convinced. Probably you have been. Probably you have been. You've probably been cajoled a couple of times, but you're not. It's easy to watch another situation and say what you wouldn't have done instead of offering, hey, what I did do. But like I said, this is a part of the need when it comes to the honesty of the conversations, when it comes to the direct discussions, and then when it comes to actually building real practical solutions. And practical solutions are all about being proactive. We can't keep saying on the other side of this, what are we gonna get? Because unfortunately for victims like Naziah Harris, and I believe her name is Mael Parker, we don't get another side. We don't get another side of that. So with that being said, y'all, next time I believe y'all will be seeing us on Thursday. We have a great show coming up about are nonprofits a real business? I would say it's maybe nonprofit, but it's all business. But we're going to be having some, we're gonna be having some insightful reflections of the annual Athens Anti-Discrimination Movement award show. Whereas, yes, your very own are up for social justice warriors. So I am looking forward to the event, and everybody's getting all dolled up, y'all. Limousines and attire. It's secured. Limousine and attire. And my daughter's gonna do my nails. I'm gonna do her hair. We're gonna enjoy this time because we are also coming up on our 3rd year Athens anniversary, y'all. Literally the day after Martin Luther King Day is our 3rd annual Martin's anniversary. Athens anniversary. But you all be safe until next time. Y'all know what it is. And glow up.